What's up YouTube, this is Aureus and welcome back to the Boomer's Guide to Fortnite. In this week's episode, we'll break into the Fortnite Armory and go over all the different weapon types. We'll go over some of Fortnite's unique gameplay aspects like bloom and first shot accuracy, and we'll touch on the different utility and healing items you can use to your advantage. This week goes out to Chozo and Geppetto. Chozo is a gentleman and a scholar and has a rich legacy in the gaming community. Be sure to check him out. Geppetto has been a moderator for Shoryuken 13 and has always been ridiculously supportive of our Fortnite ventures. Show him some love in the chat. I recently put together a video on how to enter Fortnite Friday, solo and duo custom matches which take place after 10 p.m. Pacific time every Friday on NA West. Everyone is welcome. Check the description below for more information. I've also started putting together the replays from our Fortnite Friday matches, and I'll be using them for the intro and outro to these videos, and perhaps some additional content in the future. Keep that in mind if you're thinking about joining, as you might just get featured. I'd also like to take a moment to mention a couple of our finest, and that is lobsterdust and jedimasterarrow, who couldn't make it this last Friday due to the wildfires currently raging in California. Our hearts go out to you and your families, and to anyone affected by this terrible tragedy. Weapons and items in Fortnite have changed over the seasons, but much still remains the same. I'll be trying to stick to things that should remain in the game going forward as we near Season 18. The first thing to mention are the different weapon types. From shotguns to assault rifles to snipers, these frame the way you approach your fights in Fortnite, and luckily don't require too much explanation. As you might expect, we'll be starting with my favorite part of the Fortnite arsenal, and that is shotguns. There are two types of shotguns that have been around since the very beginning, the pump and the tactical shotgun. Alternatively, you can find some nuts and bolts and turn any of these into the lever action shotgun. This is all part of Fortnite's crafting system, which should remain in the game for seasons to come. You can find nuts and bolts from red toolboxes found across the map, or from NPCs in floor loot. Simply grab some nuts and bolts and the weapon of your choice, open up your inventory, then press the E key, then click the craft button. This is how you side grade to slightly different weapons. I'll mention the different side grading variations as we go, but there aren't too many. Now, let's talk more about these shotguns. The first shotgun is my favorite, the pump shotgun. Though it has an incredibly slow rate of fire and only 5 bullets in the clip, these shots hit hard. Shotguns aren't affected by bloom, so when you click on a target, it takes damage. There's nothing quite like hitting that perfect 200 damage shot with a gold pump to clutch a game. Up next, we have the tickle shotgun. The tactical shotgun. The tactical shotgun hits for much less, but with 8 bullets in the clip and a fast rate of fire, you can be sure you're doing some damage. And don't let me downplay it, you can have a lot of fun with the blue tack and Team Rumble, absolutely. Just make sure you stay within a 1 to 2 box range. The last shotgun is the lever action, which is arguably an excellent and balanced option for close range combat. I've had a lot of fun with it, but it just doesn't seem to do enough damage in those clutch situations. As I'll continue to say, if you can hit your shots and you can build, there's nothing quite like a pump shotgun. Be sure to take some time and try each of these out. Shotguns truly are the bread and butter of the Fortnite experience, and learning how to use them is going to save you hours of heartache. It might be best to start out with the tactical or the lever shotgun, as these have a higher rate of fire and will allow you to work on your aim. You'll come to find that it doesn't matter too much which shotgun you use, as long as you pair it with building or swap to a follow-up weapon to finish the fight. Next we'll talk about spray weapons, which include the assault rifle and the SMG. Now I categorize these together because of my particular playstyle, as I tend to use these weapons to apply pressure in engagements and to finish off fights. But the SMG and the AR are not necessarily interchangeable. The biggest difference is their effective range. We'll start by talking about assault rifles. These are likely the most versatile weapon in Fortnite, and let's begin by talking about their effectiveness in ranged combat. You see, other than shotguns, most weapons in Fortnite are subject to what's called bloom. Very different from standard shooters that rely on recoil patterns instead. What this means is that your bullets travel anywhere within the spread. Your cursor can be right on target and you still won't hit anything. That's why it's important to tighten your spread whenever possible. Moving, spraying, jumping, all of these affect your spread. Instead, try crouching and peeking to take a few shots at a time. This will assure the best RNG for your bullets and maximize your damage. You may have noticed as well that if you stand absolutely still and aim down sights, the spread tightens completely. This is called first shot accuracy. Your bullet will go exactly where you direct it, and if you take a breath between shots, you can hit every single one. Use these tips to your advantage rather than spraying at targets from afar and moving around like you would in other shooters. Bloom also seems to react better if you're shooting at a target from above, likely because many of the bullets have a tendency to hit the head. Remember to keep in mind the difference between right and left peeking. Don't get caught out on a left peek with your whole body exposed, eating bullets like a hungry hippo. Now you can combine your assault rifle or your heavy assault rifle with your nuts and bolts to form a FAMAS or AUG, which is the burst rifle of the game. The AUG is incredibly powerful, but these days there's not really a wrong answer. Moving on to SMGs, there's a few key differences when compared to the AR. SMGs typically don't have first shot accuracy, but a tighter spread and are made for mobility. They're not particularly effective at range once your opponent is 3 or 4 boxes away, but when used as a follow-up to a shotgun, the SMG can be absolutely terrifying. And in early game engagements, before you find an effective shotgun, sometimes an SMG will save your life. Where the SMG is concerned, you can combine any of the SMG variants with nuts and bolts to form a rapid-fire SMG. This can be pretty powerful, but it really should only be used one time before you reload it. You can use spray weapons to apply pressure on opponents as you or your teammates push up. Just breaking a few builds to stop someone healing is often effective enough. This is what I tend to use spray weapons for the most, which is why I rarely run an SMG and instead rely on an assault rifle and its versatility as my secondary. We now move on to power weapons, such as the sniper or the hand cannon. These allow you to instantly deal massive damage to an opponent, either ending the fight immediately or offering you a huge advantage at the onset of an engagement. The hand cannon works rather like an assault rifle, in that the first shot accuracy is everything.
There's an eagle. 0.5 up.
Those of you who love clicking on pixels will enjoy the beautiful feeling of a hand cannon headshot. The sniper takes some getting used to. It fires a projectile that has a bit of travel time and bullet drop. This means you have to predict where your opponent is going to be and get used to the travel time accordingly. It may seem difficult, but after a while, you'll get into the habit of dishing out major damage. There are some additional items worth talking about in Season 7, but really, the end is only a few weeks away. They're going to be gone soon likely enough or adjusted, but the pulse rifle, the recon scanner, and the railgun are currently in the game, and all of them are crazy. Try them out at your own risk. But maybe avoid the railgun, as Ducky might ban you. Personally, I like to keep 3 weapons, 1 of each range. This gives you the versatility to be ready for any engagement. With all this in mind, my last 2 slots are often occupied by either 2 healing items or 1 healing item and a utility or explosive. Let's start by going over healing items first. Your maximum effective health is 200, that's 100 shield and 100 health. It's beneficial to carry both types of healing items, but shields are often preferred. This is because it only takes 2 seconds to consume a mini shield, which can be done in the heat of battle. Whereas most other healing items require more time. That is except for fish, which take only 1 second to consume and provide massive health and shield recovery. There's also the chug cannon, which drops only from llamas you find around the map. Though this takes up 2 inventory slots, it has 5 shots that continuously recharge. This is very powerful, especially in team game modes. You can use this on yourself, on friends, or if you stand together, on everyone. We have to take a moment to mention fishing. Not only are there tons of fish in the game with tons of different random healing properties, but you can also fish up rare weapons. Don't sleep on this, take some time to try it out. You can also find fish in ice boxes hidden throughout the map. They're hands down the best healing items, so pick them up. There are a variety of other consumable items on the Fortnite map that provide a host of different benefits. Keep an eye out for these on the ground as well as in grocery boxes. We move on to utility items. This includes not only things like grenades or firefly jars that provide some extra annoying firepower, but also the launch pad, which doesn't even take up an inventory slot. There were quite a few extra utility items added to the game in Season 7, and though I love the inflatable and Gravitron, their days are numbered. Grenades are a classic item. Just be sure to stay at a range of about 60 to 65 meters, and you can ensure anything in the blast radius is absolutely destroyed. You can throw a gas can and hit it mid-air to achieve a similar effect, or blow up a car. These cause fire to spread throughout the area. Fire deals 15 damage directly to health every second and makes it impossible to edit wooden structures. We arrive at the RPG, which is fantastic for surprising enemies or for breaking down buildings. Be sure to jump and fire from above your opponents, aiming at the ground near them. And don't get blocked by a wall and die to your own rocket. You can sometimes even sneak in a cheeky shot after your RPG destroys a building. Here, let's watch that back again and slow it down. It's a rare shot, but it feels good. Now, for launch pads. These have been in and out of the game since the very beginning. They're amazing for mobility and don't require an inventory slot. They're put instead in your trap slot and can be placed on your floors. Be careful using one to run away, as you might get beamed out of the sky by an experienced player. Instead, learn tricks like the short pad, which stops you from flying too high and allows you to cover distances quickly. There are a couple ways to do it, but the easiest is just to place a wall behind you and a ramp above you. With everything we've gone over today, let's talk about practice. While you can always use Team Rumble, which allows you to respawn when you're eliminated, creative maps are the best place to get in some real practice. I recommend Skaavok's Aim Trainer for today, as well as any of the Raider 464 maps. To enter a creative map, be sure that creative is chosen as the game mode. Simply hit play. We'll head to the Discover tab, tap on Island Code, and enter it in. Then you just click Launch. Once the map is loaded and the game started, pick out your ideal inventory, then look along the walls for the array of exercises you can practice. Now, this has just about everything. Just shoot at the game mode to get started. There's loads of interesting things you can practice here, and though folks will often point you to Kovacs or Osu or aim trainers, I firmly believe the best practice should be within the very game you're hoping to grind. There are thousands upon thousands of creative maps out there. Just do a bit of digging and you'll likely find something that helps you improve or enjoy new aspects of the game. That about does it for this episode. I know I glossed over a few things. I didn't even get a chance to mention pistols, for example, but the information found here should be enough to get you up to speed. Tune into the next episode where we'll break down fighting in Fortnite and finally dive deeper into the wide world of building. Thank you all for watching. Enjoy this background footage of Brandon and I fighting each other last Fortnite Friday. I really appreciate all of you. See you next time.